welcome to the first ever Voices from the Streets. I'm here with Rosemary. And Rosemary, how you doing?
I'm doing better.
Yeah?
Yep.
You had a little bit of a scare recently, right? With your...
Yeah, with some infection in my right leg, and I ended up at the ER from here, and they kept me for a week at the hospital, and then they had to get me in to go to physical therapy, and I spent a week there, and now I'm back on the streets, temporary. And you know what? If people would honestly keep everything good to them,
Yeah.
and thank God, I thank God I'm a survivor.
Yeah.
I have a lot of health problems, but I thank God every day.
Yeah.
Oh, and I walked all day yesterday and walked back. I walked to go from here to the library, walked all the way there, and then walked all the way back.
That's pretty good for you, though. You're diabetic, right?
Yes,
So you have...
I'm a diabetic, asthma, bronchitis, COPD, rheumatoid arthritis, scoliosis. I have seizures. I have the Parkinson's disease. And right now, I'm enjoying, I don't smoke cigarettes or the marijuana. I don't drink.
No.
I used to drink beer. I never drunk whiskey. And as I tell a lot of the officers, I'm not a ho-ho. And he goes, that's the best way to say it. I got people to laugh.
Yeah, it is pretty... you're a survivor, though. How long have you been down here?
Since October last year.
Oh, yeah.
I come down here, I know more about Nashville, and I would love to go and meet all the singers.
Well, that's not hard to do. Sometimes you can just pop up walking down the street and see them, right?
Yeah.
I've heard Steve Tyler showed up walking down the street a couple times.
Oh.
Did an impromptu singing.
And I do have a picture. I met one of the WWE wrestlers. His name was Sheamus. And I met him here in Nashville, and he was with his wife. I walked over and I asked him, are you a WWE wrestler? He goes, how do you know? I go, I've been watching wrestling since the late 60s, and I can still get that on my phone, and every time I see them wrestling, I go, all right, move it.
So do you think that wrestling from the... What era of wrestling do you think is the best? I already know what I think is the best.
Oh, I think all of them.
Okay.
Any person that has got to go and see them wrestling. I have my daughter and my son-in-law got to go and watch them wrestle. My son-in-law, Mike, has met Jake the Snake Roberts. He didn't even know that was his house.
Oh, yeah.
But it was in Illinois.
Just kind of fell upon it.
Yep, it did fall on my son-in-law, and I mean, my daughter looked at me and she goes, Mom, who have you met and you saying he's a wrestler? I go, yeah, I got a picture. I asked him if I could take a picture and stand next to him.
Yeah?
And I do have that picture, and
You still have it?
yeah,
Okay.
I took it on my phone, and then when I went to Walmart, I got them to print it up, and I got my notebook that everybody, if I take that picture, I can say, at least I can be so happy. Thank you, God, for letting me meet one of the wrestlers.
Now I know you, and so I'm guessing you probably flirted with him, right?
No, I just talked to his wife. And when I do, normally, to me, when I flirt with somebody, okay, you're 35.
No. I'm much older. But this isn't about me, though.
No, but if I tell somebody I guess the age, and the reason you don't look your age, you ain't got wrinkles here.
That's right.
And my grandmother taught me this is our laughing and crying wrinkles.
Yeah.
So
I need to do more laughing and crying? Is that what you're saying?
you better not cry. Only time I cry is when I see a movie and I start crying and I go, well, thank you God, you got me to cry again.
Yeah. I like a good movie that has a jerks at your heart a little bit.
Yep. And if you watch the Coal Miner's Daughter movie, she was calling her husband Dude before she ever married him. And she married him at the age of 15.
I know.
And she married him at the age of 13.
Yeah, they did that young back then.
And I did meet one of her twins, Patsy and Patty. I met Patsy.
That would never work today, though, because people who get married at 19 or 20, their marriages don't last.
If they go from their heart.
Right.
And the one man I want to get married to,
yeah,
I know more about him. And back in 2011, after my dad died May the 7th of 2011, he came there to my uncle's home, and I was sitting out back of the trailer, and I was crying, and I'm like, now who have I got?
Yeah.
My mom died, then my dad, then my sister died. And I'm like, to me, I've learned more from my dad than my mom.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to stay at my dad's funeral no more than 10 minutes.
Why was that?
My half-sister said I'm not his daughter. It's on my birth certificate. I could go back to that hospital of where I was born in Florence, Alabama, and the paperwork, my mom wanted to give me up for adoption. And the only thing she put down the bottom part of it, that baby's not good enough for me.
Wow.
And I'm glad my dad took me to that hospital and showed it to me. I love my dad. And I've got a picture of my dad. I can pull it up on my phone, and everybody says I favor my dad more than my mom. It went from my dad to me to my daughter.
That's good. People see my daughter, they think that we look a lot alike. I don't know if she likes that or not.
But if you got her picture and your picture together, staying next to each other, and tell her to look at it. Go from her heart.
Oh no, I think she likes it. We have the same hair. We don't actually look alike. She definitely has a lot of features from her mom. And you know, I always tell her, I said, people say you all look alike, and I always say it looks better on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what my daddy said. He says, yeah, we do look alike, but you know what? You're a female, you're not a male. And he says, I'm thanking God. I got my daughter.
Yeah, that's good.
And he taught me how to plant a garden, how to get it tillered up, how to do it, how to plant the corn. And every time I went there and planted the corn and the tomatoes and the green beans and peas, cucumbers.
So you're a regular green thumb then?
Oh yeah. And that's why I don't want to go and live back in Illinois. I don't like Illinois. There ain't nothing up there like it is here in Nashville.
Yeah.
It's more country. And when I go in some of the bars and the places like Johnny Cash, I know I'm related to George Jones when he was married to Tammy Wynette and had that baby girl. He is my third cousin.
Okay.
It's on my mom's side of the family tree.
So Nashville's kind of a good place for the homeless in that it doesn't get too cold.
No,
It gets
it's colder in Illinois.
Yeah.
You go up there, you have to make sure that you get somewhere and the cops can't get you arrested.
Yeah.
Or they'll tell you, you need to get your stuff and get out of here.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go back. Honestly, no. I don't want to go back to Illinois. I love Nashville, Tennessee.
They're working on a housing voucher for you, right?
Yes. And Angela Sims with the Salvation Army, she's going to let me know exactly. She's going to take me and my sister Tina to get into our apartment.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm
And,
excited for you.
oh, I can't wait.
It's very
And then at least my hands and my feet won't be cold.
Yeah. So you were in the hospital because of insect bites, right?
I don't know if it's insects or how, but it's 9 bites I've had.
Yeah.
And now the back part scabs over it, but the top part they're still letting the pus come out and the infection.
Yeah.
And if anybody gets bit by a spider or whatever, they go to the ER. The first thing they need to do, and it's for me, I did it. I thought those hand warmers, them where they're real warm, get a sock over that part of all the bandage, and then put that hand warmer on it, and put another sock over it. I guarantee it will pull that infection out.
Oh, wow.
And my doctor even told me, he said, when I showed back up, he goes, how long have you been doing that? Usually it's a heating pad, electric one.
Yeah.
But now, since I ain't got one, I got the hand warmers. So
what do you think about, like, does it seem like Nashville's making strides with the homeless, or do they?
yeah, if they come here in Nashville, Tennessee, what they need to do is talk with the Salvation Army, with Angela Sims, and they had the paperwork they brought back. I filled it out. My sister Tina filled it out, and I told Angela that me and Tina need to be in the same apartment because she can tell when I go through a seizure.
Yeah.
We did. We signed it, and we just told yesterday we're real close to get our apartment.
Well, that's good.
Oh, I can't wait.
So,
And if I had a restaurant right now that I could be in there and cook, I can make biscuits either this big or a little bigger.
what do you think of our cooking?
Oh,
Is it okay?
oh yes. But like I said, if I could go somewhere and cook,
But you'd like to do that, yeah.
oh yes. And
Yeah.
I would love for my biscuits to go worldwide. I don't like the canned biscuits.
Yeah, you told me
Because
that.
it something in the canned biscuits that don't taste right.
Yeah. Well, they are kind of in there for a while in the fridge.
Yeah.
So, you say I thank God and stuff a lot. So,
I thank God every day, every time I get somebody around me asking me, do I want marijuana? I look at them and I said, no, God told me not to do that.
yeah. Do you have a favorite verse or anything?
John 3:16. No. Yeah, 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life.
That's probably the most well-known and most powerful verse, right?
Yes, and I've known it since 1982.
Okay.
And I met the pastor at that church, and I went in that church every Sunday, every Wednesday, every time they had the church going on. I went in there, and he would have the offering bag. The only thing I toted to him, one was to the right side of the walkway, and the other was on the left side, and he knew when I come back up, it got zipped.
Yeah.
And when I laid it right in front of him, he said, now that's a good worker.
Yeah.
And I've never stolen anything.
I've found I like to read Proverbs and Psalms a lot, especially if you've had a loss, like you said, family members and stuff.
Yeah.
It kind of helps you get through.
Oh, yeah. And I know that John 3:16, every time I think about it, you know what? My dad had me, and now God's took him to heaven. God has took him up there. He spent his time here on earth.
How old was he when he passed
He
away?
was 76. And I know my dad was a survivor with the skin cancer. He's had a part of his body cut. Part of his ear was cut. And the first time he got cancer often, it was here. And then the next one was on this side that he had to go in the hospital.
Well, it's good to have fond memories.
Oh yeah, it is. And if people would talk about it, I guarantee you can always look up to the sky and say, God, thank you for letting me spend the time with my dad. And what little bit of time I spent with my mom, I took care of her when she was sick. I took care of my dad's mom more.
No bottled water. Well, I gotta say, you're my favorite Rosemary that I know.
That's my first and middle name.
So, yeah, everybody, that's Rosemary, and she'll give you some insight into her and her life. We hang out every day.
Yep.
She comes and helps serve.
I love serving
Yeah.
because when you do serve and you thank God for every time you do help somebody to give out food and everything, it's like God's blessing us.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm not going to say the H-E, I say the H-E double hockey sticks.
Right.
I don't say the other word. No more. So it's fun to be with you and help you serve and everything. And then,
Y'all are a blast too. I enjoy
yeah.
it. Well, do you want to just wave goodbye and
Hey, he's a good gentleman to be around. He don't look his age, and I've told him, and I said, I tell you what, I thank God for letting him get around me and my sister and my service dog.
does that mean I get a hug?
Oh, God. Oh,
All right.
Thank you.
I'm going to use Christmas carols. Headbangers Brew will make your day merry and bright.
Okay,
Headbangers Brew, it'll really deck your halls.
I'll deck your halls.
Headbangers Brew will really play your reindeer games.
You wish.
Headbangers Brew, it'll jingle your bells.
Jingle jangle.
Side